On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks somehow pull out a double overtime win against a Lakers team that they should have had no business being in this game against the Mavericks. We'll talk about what Luka Doncic did. And is a win a win? We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
That's right. And welcome. That's right. We're still letting it ride. We're still letting it ride even after that. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day and every post game. We are free and available on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. But the best way you can help us grow the show is to comment anything below. This will be a tough one. Let me know, what's the craziest part of that game that we just saw?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, there's a lot to choose from.
Bob Vulgaris being there.
That's a great one. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. And joining me from across the world, as always, my co-host, writer, and contributor at Mavs.com, the traveling teacher, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I'm exhausted. All right. So
you just drove like 12 hours.
Drove 13 hours today. 2 toddlers.
Woof.
Dog.
My
wife who's like sick. So it's like this whole thing. And then we literally pull in, my like childhood home, my mom's house in Kentucky. And it's tip off of the game.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like packing in bags. I'm like, hey, throw the game on. I'm like, hey, yeah, good to see y'all too. And it's our twice a year trip to Kentucky. And
shout out to Isaac's mom for being cool with it.
Yeah, and then everybody went to sleep, and I just stayed up and watched this marathon game. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just push the 24-hour being awake thing. And I'm all here. I'm ready. I was gonna take the night off, but I just couldn't after this game.
I know. I was ready to go solo on this one, and then it was going to be another one to add to my tally for solo pods where the Mavs where the Mavs won the game. But here we are. Oh my God! I mean, all right. The Dallas Mavericks win 119-115.
Wait, who did they beat again?
The Los Angeles Lakers of Anaheim. Double OT win. Luka plays.
I hate that franchise.
53 minutes in this game. Plays the entire second half. All the first overtime, all the second overtime. 35 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists. He had his 5th foul like in the 4th quarter. I thought for sure he was going to foul out with something stupid because this was, by and large, the worst officiating game I have seen in the NBA. And I think there were many people on the Lakers side, on the Mavs side, and agnostic for this matchup that thought that this was the worst officiated game they had seen this year.
I mean, we could do a whole segment on the officiating.
I just set it up, so here we go.
But I don't want to like I want to talk about this Mavs win. So many players had contributions to this. I do really want to brag on Chrsitian Wood's defense late.
Oh man.
But this officiating crew, like, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, I made a joke that this last 2-minute report was going to be a CVS receipt, and like, what? I just don't know what they were like doing. How were they like? I don't know. It was a mess. The Schroeder Westbrook thing, the foul, that was just mind-boggling for me. I was about to stand up and just start screaming.
So it was the end of what? It was the end of the 4th quarter, right?
Yeah, it was like 11 seconds.
Yeah, 11 seconds left in the 4th quarter where they Schroeder's bringing up the ball. He's the best free throw shooter that the Lakers have. And so the Mavericks didn't want to foul him. They wanted to foul Westbrook. And so as soon as Westbrook got the ball from Schroeder, when he got trapped, they fouled Westbrook. And then Westbrook immediately dished it back to Schroeder, who was standing right next to him. And then the refs call foul. And then they're like,
they never even touched Schroeder.
They're like, yeah, they didn't touch Schroeder. And then they're like, Schroeder, go to the free throw line. And the Mavs are like, what in the world? Like, what are you talking about? Jason Kidd comes out and they have to waste their challenge on it. And it's actually an unsuccessful challenge, which was really dumb. But the refs switched who the foul was on because they realized that how dumb of a decision that was. But you know what that moment felt like? I never really played baseball in my career, but everybody that I knew that was like my age would go be an umpire for like little league or even like younger, and you'd get paid in cash. So I was like, all right, well, let me go try this. And so I did a couple, and like the younger ones, it was what it was. And then I had to fill in for somebody for like an older league, like an 11-year-old league where like the parents really care and like the parents are out there. And there was a guy there from my church, and he chewed me out in the middle of a game because I was so lost in everything was faster. The pitches were coming from not a coach, it wasn't coach pitch or T-ball or anything like that. It was like actual pitches from players. And like, I was completely lost. I'll admit, like I was probably like 14 or something like that. I wasn't much older than these players. And I was like doing my best trying to call what I could call. And I just so lost out there. And that's what it felt like these refs were. It felt like they had no idea what was going on at times. And it really messed up this game in a ton of ways. But the Dallas,
there was a jump ball call one time. And I'm like, how was the LeBron like walk, like travel thing where he went up and like came back down with the ball?
Oh, yeah,
and
one
like,
of the overtimes.
They're like jump ball. And I'm like, not to do the same thing you just did, but I was the lone referee for an elementary game here in Dallas, Lake Highlands. And it was just me and gym full of parents and kids. So if I couldn't,
you were not 14, right?
No, I mean, it was just a few years ago. If I couldn't see the call, I just called jump ball. And dude, parents got pissed. And I'm like, that's exactly what they did tonight. I'm like, how is that not a walk on LeBron? But they're just like, hey, just jump it up, guys,
Hey,
like
we don't know what it was. So that was a big factor in this game. It's probably the biggest thing people are going to be talking about after this game is just how bad the officiating was, threw everything off. The players didn't know what was a foul and what wasn't a foul. It was affecting the game. And but that's not the reason why the Mavericks lost either, right? Like the Mavericks should have won this game in so many different ways. Hold on, the Mavericks won this game. It feels like the Mavericks lost to me.
I didn't know if I should interrupt you.
You should have. I
was just looking at
that
you.
was the ultimate Freudian slip from me. Yeah, there's a reason why the Mavericks almost lost this game. Is what I meant to say. The Mavericks were up 36-22 in the first quarter. Looked like they were on a coast. Looked like this Lakers team can't defend them. They can't defend the rim. There's nobody around this.
Washed king, baby.
The washed king is actually washed. Like, it just didn't look like anything was going to go right for the Lakers at all in this game. And just slowly but surely, it just kept slipping away. The fourth quarter of this game, the Mavericks took 14 shots. 14, and the Lakers took 25. Like that to me, you start looking at that, and it's not like they got a ton of second chance opportunities. The Lakers got 4 offensive rebounds in that quarter, which is, not a ton, but it is a good amount. You look at that and you're like, what is happening? Like, what is the plan out here? What are we doing? And I was starting to, like, in the middle of it, I was like, Mark Cuban's down at the end of the bench. Does he just let Jason Kidd go today? He won't. We know he won't. But I thought that was a terribly coached game throughout most of it.
There was a lot of moments, yes, that I was frustrated. One that Lakers roster has no business of being, especially without AD. Shout out to AD though tonight. I mean, this guy before the season, he's like, "Hey, I'm playing in all 82." Like, we all know that's not happening. He was all over the court, like all the timeouts in the whole scuffle with the Schroeder Russ thing. He's out on the floor. Like, look at Harrell Pop's tweet. He's like down on the other end of the floor. I'm like, bro, this is the most like court time you've seen in like a month, right? Like, what's going on? You're not important in this game. But it's just, it was LeBron. Russ had a good game. Schroeder's okay, and it's like, why is this game so close? Like, why are they coming back? I mean, we can talk about so many reasons. I mean, we have nobody that can protect the rim. Ironically, Chrsitian Wood late in the game did, but like when LeBron and those guys are just in Russ are going to the rim, like what We just have no way to stop that.
How many times did LeBron or Westbrook just body somebody, Chrsitian Wood included, and like anybody, and like body them at the rim and just get a layup? And the reffing was so all over the place, like you weren't getting anything consistent, so you didn't know what to do, like how to defend it at certain points in this game.
But it's funny because LA doesn't have anybody either. So it's like a little Spider-Man meme-ish, a little bit looking at each other, both the teams, because, Dallas has 60 points in the paint tonight. Lakers had 64. So it's like, all right, who can score the most layups?
Coming up, the Mavericks did win this game. They did. I have to admit they did win this game. Let's talk about what went right for the Mavericks. Chrsitian Wood, incredible. We'll talk about his game and why I'm not couching the praise for him anymore on that game. We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place to get your job or to post your job. If you are a hiring manager, you know that you need something reliable and something that's going to be able to get a ton of candidates in and cast a wide net, but also narrow it down for you. LinkedIn can do that. They have 875 million member profiles. That's your wide net. Then they also have their screen and rate applications with your job qualifications all on one platform. That's the way that you narrow it down. That's the way that you figure out who's qualified for your job and who are the people that you want to talk to. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Check out LinkedIn Jobs. Whew. All right, Isaac Harris. The Dallas Mavericks do get a win. It's a win. It's a W in the win column. Start with Luka Doncic because he was incredible. 35 points, 14 boards, 13 assists. He had 5 turnovers in this game, but he missed 4 free throws. Some of them were just like the biggest free throws in overtime. Yeah. But he hit 2 shots to force overtime and then at the end of the second overtime. Just that's what he does, right? Like that's what he does. That's what separates him from anybody else, is that everything's going bad, everything's going wrong, nothing's happening, the offense isn't flowing well, nobody's getting open, and he just pulls a game right out of his ass.
Watching Luka play basketball, it's such an experience, right? Like we get so excited. We've seen every minute of basketball he's played since he's been in the NBA. And like you see a game like this and it's hard to get frustrated at him because like you find yourself getting, I mean, at least I do. I find myself getting frustrated a few times of like some of the body language stuff again.
For sure.
It's like, all right,
this game was awful.
God, some of the defense. I mean, there were some moments tonight where, I mean, he was just getting blown past defensively.
Mavs are playing 4-on-5 because he was on the other end, like laying down or.
But then you can't get. But then it's like it's hard to get mad at him because he's coming down, hitting all these shots, and he's shouldering the offensive load so much, for this team. And Dinwiddie came on late in overtime, but Dinwiddie played horrible, I thought, until overtime. And then he hits the shots at the end, and it's just like, I mean, he has a 35-point triple-double, and you're like, you can't get mad at him, right? Like, and he hits those 2 step back, top of the key threes to send it to overtime, both overtimes, and it's just like, all right, like Luka Doncic on the best stage in the world.
It's Luka is the best stage in the world. Crypto.com arena, is that what?
Well, I meant like playing the Lakers, national TV. Everybody's watching it, Like
Stan Van Gundy's there, when he's in the building, you got it.
I mean, Stan was frustrated at the officials tonight too. Shout out to the Mark Cuban tweet. Mark's gonna get a little fine for that one, but refs. I was kind of confused because I guess he talked to Stan during a break of play because. I mean, Mark's at the game. Stan's calling the game.
Mark Cuban, in the middle of the game, in the middle of the fourth quarter, says, quote, Stan Van Gundy is absolutely right. Stan Van Gundy was one of the announcers on the call on TNT. So I don't know how somebody definitely told him.
Somebody texted Mark and said, Stan just said.
Yeah. Mark Cuban said, Stan Van Gundy is absolutely right. Worst officiated game. Luka gets no respect. Unreal. There's a fine coming. He's taking a hit there.
25K? 30?
It's 50? In the middle of a game, and also he was on the bench. So
yeah, he's there.
Does it count for more? The proximity of the team.
Mark was like 20 yards from Lil Wayne, so I'm like, let's get this beef going
get that
again.
feud going again. Yeah, so he's gonna take.
Bob Algaris is across the floor.
This game had so many wild things, but yeah, Luka Doncic, he's just next level, unreal. Took 28 shots in this game. And we're not used to seeing Luka take 28 shots and only go to the free throw line 7 times in 53 minutes. He played the entire second half and all the overtimes of this game. And the Mavericks are in no way close to winning this game if he doesn't do all that. They need him.
No. And, I actually thought Russ played decent defense on him at times. He was the best defender I think they had.
Okay, but here's the thing. I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, man, Russ is actually shutting him down. No, Russ was just...
No, I don't think shutting him down.
He was just denying the ball because he's a maniac and he's out there like being so physical with Luka, and he was just denying him the ball in a way that only like super elite athlete Russell Westbrook can do. And Luka was just dead tired playing 50-something minutes already. And you're like, okay, well, there was a certain point in the second overtime, he just like gave up. He was like, I'm not going to fight through this maniac to try and get the ball.
Well, Max Christie,
Dinwiddie, go just do something, anything.
Luka was looking at Max Christie like he was an upward kid. And at least
upward is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's like a little league basketball here in the States.
But I mean, at least Russ was, trying to get physical with Luka. They had the
trying.
Well, yeah, he had the flagrant there that was like, what are you doing? But I think they clearly have respect for each other. I mean, but
that's fine. He can respect him. I don't respect Russell Westbrook after that game. That he tried to.
Oh, this game took that for you. It took this game.
Yeah,
this one game.
Fair. No, I mean.
Okay, can I say this and not be judged?
Are you gonna zag?
No, I might zag a little bit. No one. Don't tell anybody. Are we recording?
Hold on, I'll stop the recording.
Kyle, turn the TikTok camera on.
No one's gonna get that.
Intern. Russ would be okay on the Mavs.
As a player, not just as a contract?
Yeah, as a player.
Wow. As a player at this juncture.
I know we've talked about like, what if Dallas approached it from like just a money shedding, deal type of thing. But I couldn't help it. And I know, make fun of me. I don't care. I was watching the game and I was like, you know what? If Russ was bought into the 6-man role in Dallas and we could shed some money, his energy and like him coming off the bench, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I
said it. All right. I can't say anymore.
They do need somebody that like just gives a crap at certain times, right? It seems like at times that this Mavericks team plays too cool for school, and that's why they lose to these teams without stars. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, we just didn't try for like a whole quarter.
I think I've been up for too long, so don't hold it against me if I wake up tomorrow and I was like, did I really say that?
A million comments about Isaac wants Russell Westbrook on the Mavericks.
I'm sorry in advance.
But yeah, he played so physical against Luka, was whacking him anytime that he could get. He was being physical. I felt like Jordan rules. It felt like the way that the Bad Boys Pistons.
The whole freaking game was weird.
It felt like the Bad Boys Pistons, how they treated Michael Jordan. But the other guy that deserves a ton of praise in this game, Chrsitian Wood.
What about those blocks?
I think this was his best game as a Maverick. Like, it's not going to go down as his best statistical game, but 24 points, 14 boards, 6 assists, 5 blocks, and timely defensive plays.
Yeah, and fought through the injuries. Like, he had some injuries in this game. I was like, dude, just fighting through them.
That play, second overtime, 2 minutes left in second overtime. Chrsitian Wood rolls his ankle. He's on the ground. And one of my complaints about Chrsitian Wood this year has been anytime he gets hit or like pushed or anything, even on defense, he'll fall to the ground and like try to get the call. And in this game, you're not getting any of those calls. The reffing was so ridiculous. You're just not getting it. And so he's on the ground. And I think he realized it. He's like, okay. And then he was actually hurt. So he's like, I'm going to fight through this. He stands up and he like limps over as Russell Westbrook comes over to try a layup and he blocks him. That was the gutsiest, best play I've seen from Chrsitian Wood. That's winning basketball, right? All the stuff we talked about Chrsitian Wood at the beginning of the season, like that's winning basketball from Chrsitian Wood. A lot of times we talk about, all right, well, what was the problem? Okay, they couldn't defend, they couldn't do this. I don't think Chrsitian Wood is the problem in this game, right? Like I can very confidently say that, and I thought he was really great.
Yeah, I mean the block on LeBron late,
so good,
was awesome. He hit some timely shots. I thought his passing and the short roll
Huge.
Was great at times. So, Adam, make sure you clip this one and keep the last like 2 minutes of the pod.
You have been up for too long. Coming up, other guys deserve some praise. How did the Lakers try to defend Luka? What did that look like? And then what else happened? How did the Mavericks pull out this win? We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline has all the odds, lines, and everything that you want to check out in sports. Go and see what they have available. They have the NFL wild card. You want to guess some lines here?
Oh, I'm ready.
Buffalo Bills at home against the Miami Dolphins. No Tua Tagovailoa.
13.5.
It's exactly Bills by 13.5.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Cowboys at Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Cowboys by 3.
Cowboys 2.5. Man. Bengals home for your Baltimore Ravens.
Oh God. 9.5.
Minus 9.5. The Bengals are our favorite. Isaac, you should work for BetOnline. 49ers home for the Seahawks.
13.
That was a trick one. It's 9.5, same as the Bengals Ravens one. Go check it out. They have all kinds of different lines and stuff at BetOnline. Go check it out. They also have NBA and everything. Check it out. It's BetOnline, where the game starts.
It's so much fun.
All right, Isaac Harris, let's continue talking about this Dallas Mavericks game. I thought the way that the Lakers tried to defend Luka was kind of interesting. It was talked about throughout the game. I thought Stan Van Gundy did a good job breaking it down as the game was going on. They tried the drop with Thomas Bryant to start. That doesn't work.
Teams doing that, I just laugh. I mean, I guess the only thing with drop stuff that you kind of you're picking your poison, right? Like we've talked about this a million times. Like there's no perfect way to guard Luka. But I guess in drop, like you're just kind of like daring Luka to like take a 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think like 2 years ago, Luka has taken like 13 threes
for sure
in games like this. But I mean, Luka's just not, right? I mean, he took 9 3-pointers in this game. Hello.
When you drop, that means when the defender, like the big man comes over to switch and guard Luka, he drops back. And so he gives Luka all the space, and that gives him time. And so he took all the time he needed to either take a shot, find the right pass, all that. You can't give Luka that time.
But that's the difference, I think, with Luka this year is 2 years ago, Luka's taken 13 threes in this game.
Yeah.
Now Luka isn't settling for the 3, and he's like, all right, you give me the space. Well, the space, I'm going to move in and then make a decision.
How many threes did he take in this game, Isaac Harris?
He took 9 threes in this game.
9 threes in the game.
What does the rebounds look like in this game?
Another one. The Dallas Mavericks lost the rebounding battle by 2.
Wow.
They lost the offensive rebounding battle 14-13, which normally is an automatic Dallas loss. But
yeah,
this game was wild in so many other ways. But so the Lakers tried the drop, then they tried the trap on the screen. And Tim Hardaway Jr., I thought, in the middle of this game was really great. He was really taking advantage of that and hitting some shots and showed up big.
I thought
played all 22 minutes in this game.
Yeah, I thought all three of the other guys had moments that were huge, right? Like I thought Tim had some big moments. Dinwiddie
overtime
struggled so bad probably all regulation.
Yeah.
And it was like Dinwiddie said, dude, I'm pissed at myself, so I'm just going to go and just dunk all my frustrations.
I can't show up this bad in Crypto.com arena in front of Harala Bob. Like, I can't do that to myself.
Well, it's at Crypto Arena. He's like, all right, I'm going to play like the value of crypto. And he just, yammed it, those massive plays. But not only the dunks, he had some big clutch possessions late, some buckets.
Minute left in the second overtime, that ISO post on Schroeder where they went up 118 to 113. Like that was a huge play that honestly really got them to win this game.
I saw somebody tweet online. They were making a joke about how Dinwiddie looked like the only guy out there with like fresh legs. And it felt like he was the one. And on the broadcast, you heard it too. Stan Van Gundy was like, they should just ride Dinwiddie now in overtime. And I don't know about that, but he had good moments.
In both overtimes, Dinwiddie 8 points, the most of either most of anybody on either team. An assist, 2 rebounds, hit all 4 of his shots. which you need. Huge, like absolutely huge. And he made up for all the rest of the regulation when he just didn't even seem like he was showing up at all in this game.
Do you have the acoustic guitar?
Ooh, I do.
Andy?
You want me to go get it?
Is it like next to you?
It's right here.
Can we have a moment real quick? Oh, this is great. The fact that Nick had to get up for it. It's probably not even in tune. This is awesome. Here we go.
You say it's not tuned?
Yeah.
It very well might not be.
Can we have a little altar call real quick? Guys, we're just going to take a moment right now and just kind of do some reflecting on the inside. If you could just, kind of spread out in the room, kind of take some moment. If we close our eyes a little bit. And I know some of you have heard of a king before. And tonight, that king, he had a moment with the Chrsitian Wood. But let me tell you about a real king that died on a Chrsitian Wood. That king is your Lord and Savior. The Wash King, he didn't hit a 3 tonight. So if any kid out there has a LeBron jersey on, we have an offering box that you can offer it up. There you go, I'm done.
On a Chrsitian Wood. On a Chrsitian Wood is so funny. Oh my gosh. The cross wasn't a Chrsitian wood. It wasn't even a symbol of Christianity, Isaac. It was a form of torture. Imagine if Jesus was waterboarded. Would we be wearing waterboard necklaces? Would that?
I'm too tired at this point now.
Oh my gosh. Insane.
It was a fun. It was weird because I'm like, is this a great game?
No.
Because I'm like, this was a fun, like entertaining game. Like my stepdad came down because I thought the house was going to blow up. Our gas was leaking in our house, and he came down the stairs, and I was like, dude, this game went to double overtime. He's like, oh man, was it good? I was like,
no,
maybe. Like I don't know. Great question. I don't know. Like I guess it was fun. It was entertaining, but I don't know if it classified as good. But a win is a win. So there you go.
Is it a win? Do you still think that this is a win? I almost feel like
I think it was a win like 15 minutes ago. So
I ascribe to the Ted Lasso theory of I think you can play a game and score more points and still lose. Like I think that they scored more points and lost this game because you look at this starting lineup: LeBron, Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Max Christie. Who is Max Christie?
Tough.
Tell me where Max Christie went to college, Isaac.
Michigan State.
Okay. Is
that right?
I shouldn't have asked you. But like,
what about the Kendrick Nunn sequence? My guy hits 1-3. He airballs like 4 shots. He hits 1-3 and he's like, heat check. He goes up. I'm like, whoa.
I saw our friend Anthony Irwin, the former host of Locked On Lakers, tweet, Kendrick Nunn, pass. Ever once, please pass the ball at any point. Pass the ball. So that is we also got to see our old friend Sterling Brown in this game.
Yes, we did.
For 1 minute and 36 seconds, and he's got new hair.
Yeah, they also had a guy. This doesn't happen very often that a guy plays in a game, and now it's just it was quick. It was only 3 minutes that I've never heard of before. Cole Swider.
Oh yeah,
the heck is that?
Yeah,
who is that?
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
I don't know anything about that guy, but
he went to Syracuse.
Thomas Bryant has touch around the basket for a big guy.
Yeah.
I keep on being impressed by him, but I mean, they won, and that's what matters. And Chrsitian Wood played great defensively late. Dinwiddie had some moments late. Luka was Luka. I mean, but yeah.
Did you remember that Jaden Hardy played in this game?
He did, because Winion Gabriel smacked it up on the backboard.
Oof, he had some rough moments in this game. He had the and one, which was great, but he had rough moments when he tried to throw the entry pass to Luka, who was posting up,
and
then turnover, and then immediately the other end fouls Westbrook. Like Jason Kidd was like, "I'm done. I've had enough. Today is not the day of development."
Speaking of Jason Kidd, when Luka goes down, was that the fastest Kidd has moved since he played for the Knicks?
Good morning, Isaac.
My guy got over there so fast and grabbed Luka.
2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the first overtime. Westbrook bumps Luka right in the open court, like just like shoulder checks him. I mean, it was a hockey play. Like that would have been a nothing in hockey, but it was definitely something bad in the NBA. Luka stands over him and like looks over him. Kid doesn't want Luka to get a tech. Runs over, grabs Luka around the waist and pulls him away. It was the fastest I think I've seen Kid move this year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Exhausting game.
I'm exhausted. Shout out to everybody that
Reggie
made it
had
to the
some
end.
tough moments. I wouldn't say this is a good game for Reggie in this game.
All the starters positive in double digits except for Dinwiddie was +5 and Reggie was a -2.
Yeah, that's wild. But a lot of praise for Chrsitian Wood in this game. I was happy for him. Big stage, national TV game against the Lakers. Now, obviously it's not like the Lakers have, he's going against Thomas Bryant, but still, like on a big game like this, on a national stage, like he had some big time plays late, and that's what they need from him, especially as the starting five.
We heard from, forgot completely about this, but at the end of regulation, Tim Hardaway Jr. flies by and almost he taps Troy Brown on the hand after the 3-point shot that he attempted and bumped him on the body a little bit. I thought it was a foul. Our friend of the pod, former Mavs assistant coach Shed, was on Twitter saying that's not a foul. You can high five guys. That's not a foul. The crew chief Josh Tiven. I don't know if we should trust what he says after that game he just officiated. But to the pool reporter, they asked why was there no call on Troy Brown Jr.'s 3-point attempt at the end of regulation. They said because Hardaway Jr. gets a piece of the ball on the closeout and then does make some contact on a high five, which is legal, and that play was correctly no called. So, hey.
Fine with me.
There you go. In the comment section,
Lakers fan, I'd be really complaining about it. But,
in the comment section, they have a lot. There's a lot to complain about on both sides, I think, tonight. In the comment section, let us know what was the craziest part of this game. We will be back with post games this weekend for both of the Blazers games. I'm really interested to see if Luka's going to play in both these games.
Portland is struggling big time right now, so this could be a good time to catch those guys.
The Lakers were too, so we'll see what happens with that. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.